Welcome, mass pagers, SEOers, and digital marketers to a Sunday Live here with Stephen and Simon. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hey, Daryl. How you doing? Good to see you.
I'm good.
Are you in a minibus this week?
No, a lot of people were asking if I was okay because of the flooding in New York. Did you guys see all the footage of the flooding?
Oh, my word, it's bad.
Yeah. What did you guys think of that? I mean, could you imagine London having a flood like that?
It's like you guys got like a month of rain, or New York got a month of rain in one day or something. Central Park was underwater or something. Something amazing.
Yeah, crazy. And they're still cleaning up from it. My stepdaughter is just coming up from New York City. She goes to college down there, and they couldn't take the train because the train couldn't get out of New York City, so she had to take a bus. So they're still cleaning up. So what?
I told you, Daryl. I told you not to leave that tap on. And what did you do? You know, you went to the fair and you left the tap on. You went on and it flooded everywhere.
Makes you not want to ride in a subway with a hurricane. No. If there's a hurricane, I'm not taking the subway.
Yeah, some of the pictures with the rain coming down into the subway, absolutely terrifying. Yeah. So over in the UK, it's been pretty normal, pretty temperate. Quite a nice day today, so nothing too dramatic over here, which is
no hurricanes at the minute.
Just generally overcast and a little bit wet. Normally, that's how it is here. But actually, it's been quite nice recently. So yeah.
And that's your weather forecast, sponsored by Local SEO here.
Yeah. There you go. And I'm not at a parking lot with bad internet and a bad battery. And not only that, I got myself a new phone.
Oh yeah.
Look at this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this.
What is it?
Oh. It folds out.
It opens up.
Folds out.
And then disappears.
Okay. Yeah. It's gone now.
Yeah, it's the Z Fold 3.
All right. Wow. Okay.
Really cool phone.
Samsung, is it?
Yeah. I'm really enjoying it. It's the way it works is I showed you this before, Simon, that I can dial into my remote desktop and I can do work on a Windows machine right on this phone. Wow. So it works out really good. So in case I'm somewhere and I have to do some work on something or check something real quick, I can go ahead and just jump in and do it. So I really like that.
Nice.
Hey, Chris.
He says it goes invisible. Yeah, it's a very clever phone, as made by Doctor Who. You just, if someone's going to steal it, it goes invisible. That's how it works.
I see. Awesome. Awesome. So we're going to go around the table here and just kind of, as people start to join us, go around and talk about what we'll talk about and highlight a little bit today. And we'll see how it goes. Normal format, as always, we will give away a domain at the end of the show. These are the domains that are up for grabs: buyautoleads.com, restorationprices.com, readstory.net, and promotionalrate.com. Some very good domains you'll have a chance to walk away with for free at the end of the show. Okay.
Yeah,
so Simon, what are you going to talk about today, just briefly?
Yeah, just briefly. So a couple of weeks ago, Google announced that they were rolling out an update on how they handle meta titles, which we know that are they're important for SEO. So I'm just going to give everyone a update on what the changes is and how you might want to respond to them. So that's my bit.
Awesome. How about you, Stephen?
Yeah, a couple of things. First of all, an update on the live for yous. We've decided to move them to a Friday night, and basically it's 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if those that join at 5 p.m., if we've got enough people on still, we will carry on for longer. So we're quite happy to. We moved them to that time only because my kids go back to school shortly, and I didn't want to be getting up at 6:30 in the morning after finish at like one in the morning UK time on a live for you. So so tonight there's not one after this. It'll be next Friday, and then but the main thing I want to talk about tonight is how not to get banned on YouTube. I've had a few people message me where they've had their account shut down. They find it hard to get back on because Google knows where you are. They know everything Google does, and including where Daryl's invisible phone is. So the thing is it's very much how not to get banned, and I'll talk about that later on.
Awesome. I will do some updates on 2 of our tools. Let me see. We'll have yeah, I can't show there's a third tool I can't show you quite yet because we don't have it ready for people to look at. But I'm going to show Imagefly and Siphon just to kind of give you guys a little update on that. We do have some Mentorprise users. They just had some updates as well. So I'll just go over that briefly. So those 3 tools. And then I'm going to also talk a little bit about cold email outreach. A little bit something different, but because of this tool I'm going to show you, I want to open up your mind of some different ideas of what can be done with AI and what can be done to maybe, get a better response on any kind of cold email outreach that you might be interested in doing. So, Don, Labor Day weekend here in the United States. Welcome. And so we'll get started, I guess, with Simon.
Yeah, just give a second. I'll share my screen. Hold on.
Make sure you guys do like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, and make sure that you like and comment on both channels, YouTube and Facebook, wherever you might be watching us today. We'd love to have your feedback, and we'd love to have your questions because we can answer them live here. We are 100% live this afternoon or evening or this morning in Australia.
Okay, doke. So hopefully everyone can see my screen there. As I said, it's just an update on some changes Google's making to the way it handles meta titles. And as I'm sure pretty much everyone will know, meta titles are important for SEO. Because they are a way of showing Google relevance about a particular topic, and they also encourage click-through rates. So both those things are really useful from an SEO perspective. So here's some examples of meta titles that have been highlighted here: London's best restaurants, the very best restaurants in London, best restaurants and places to eat near me. So these are the ones that we're talking about in terms of meta titles. So we know they're important. They show relevance, encourage click-through rate. So up until very recently, Google has typically used the meta title that you set. So if you're in WordPress, you type in, meta title, it'll come up in the top bar of your browser. It can also come up, obviously, in the search results, and you can use tools like SEO Quick, SEO Minion to read the data as well. And Google has normally just left it alone. So if you type in 24/7 emergency plumbers, pipe, Smith and Son plumbing, it will typically use that. And obviously, if we're using Magic Page plugin, we're obviously interested in meta titles, and we can use shortcodes to change that information. If you're using regular WordPress, we typically just type it in. Very occasionally, Google would just intervene and it would change it. So particularly on the home page, Google would want to see, the Smith and Son plumbing. Hold on. Smith and Son plumbing typically is the branded keyword going in, so it might flip them around. And if Google's changed your meta title, you'd often see a colon placed next to it, but typically it leaves it alone. Sometimes it might change around and put the brand at the front. And now that's even if the keywords were stuffed in there. And some people, you're meant to have ideally 60 to 70 characters. Some people will be putting in 100, 200 and keyword stuffing it and spamming it, and Google's really looking at that now. So an update they announced a couple of weeks ago, basically Google's putting more emphasis on the text that the user can see on the website, and is sometimes going to be using that to write the meta titles. And in some case, Google's going to completely rewrite the whole meta title. Now, why is Google doing this? Obviously, it's trying to improve user experience, make sure that the SERP results and particularly things like snippets are always relevant and clear and concise. And it's trying to address things like keyword stuffing, as I've just said, boilerplate titles. So if your homepage just says home and nothing else, or untitled or something other generic, it might want to intervene there. Extra long titles, which sometimes people are using, and they overflow or truncate on the search results. So that's something that Google's trying not to do. And there's a full article about it here. I'll leave it in the link on the slides. So simonhogman.com/slides. You can get the full archive here. So Google still expects to be using meta titles that are set by the website. It says it in the article. It's going to probably still use them 80% of the time, but 20% of the time it's going to change them around. So we know that Google thinks SEO titles are important, or meta titles, because John Mueller, who's one of the top guys at Google, says they are, but he says effectively don't die a ditch on them. So they're important to a point. They are used as a ranking factor, and I say particularly regarding relevance. So you want to have your meta title set to be a summary of what's on the page, and I wouldn't go into too much elaborate keyword stuffing. I wouldn't do any keyword stuffing, to be honest, but I wouldn't make it too complicated. I would make sure that your meta title is clearly all about that, the content of that page. So this change is rolling out now, so you may see some change on your website, you may not. I would just take a quick look at some of them, see if they have actually changed. I wouldn't panic. I just check for any anomalies. I've heard some odd things coming up, like it putting sort of dates in, or interesting information from the site that doesn't actually help your click-through rate. So I would intervene if they have overwritten it in any way, and I would try and rewrite it in a short, concise way. A real tip is to align your meta title with your H1. So I think Google will, if it doesn't like the meta title you've written, probably just use your H1 anyway. And one of the best ways to make sure it uses one of the things that you want to show is use meta title and align it with the H1. I recommend that for SEO anyway, and keep it short and relevant. When Google is making the changes, it's taking long titles and making them concise. So I would kind of go with the flow of what Google's doing and take it from there. So don't panic if you see anything. It's just a small update, but I thought it was worthwhile just sharing, and I guess obviously reminding people how important meta titles are for the relevance in search and click-through rate as well. If you want to learn anything more about that, the slide deck is here, simonhogman.com/slides. I've got my list of recommended tools at /tools, and I've got a number of courses, including an SEO course, which you're welcome to check out at courses.simonhogman.com. And obviously, great to have any questions about that update. So I don't know, Daryl or Steve, if you've picked up on that update, you've seen any of your H1s, or sorry, any of your meta titles change around or anything going on. But that's the updates.
You know, they've been kind of doing this with descriptions for a while. If you don't put a description, they kind of make one up for you. I know that Chris Palmer talks a lot about just not putting a meta description. Like Google kind of picked that up. Perhaps they've been watching Chris Palmer's show and decided to do that with titles too. But the thing is how does this affect mass page development? Like, for example, with Magic Page plugin, where you're using spin text in your titles, okay, to give variations and things like that. You know, we at one point might have had an advantage with mass page with titles and metadata because it can be done in bulk. But could this affect mass page websites more because they're going to you know, kind of maybe score the ones that they want to score, and regardless of their optimization in the meta category, you know, we could kind of see what happens over time. I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts on that as far as mass page goes?
Well, I was going to say, I think as long as the mass page titles are configured to be relevant to what the content is of the page, it's probably not going to make a change. It's probably just going to go with it. I think it's really looking to change things where it's completely irrelevant. I mean, I've seen a lot of people who put a title down, but they'll also include all the other target keywords for the rest of their site, you know, and they'll put in the homepage and other things that are not related. So if they're targeting a particular city, they might have a county in, but they also might have counties that aren't even where the city is located. And I think that's where Google's probably going to take a look and say that's not relevant, and it may choose to intervene. So that's what I'd be on the lookout for. But I think if you're doing things properly, it should just go with, as it would be for any normal page, is, you know, make sure it's not stuffed, make sure it's relevant, make sure it describes the content of the page. So that would be my view. Steve, any views?
Yeah, I think the thing with Google now that you have to remember is you have to offer value. So when you're not offering value on your website, and you're not, you know, it's like you go to a website and it's not giving someone the answer to a problem, then of course you have to look into how you generate your content, how you make it relevant. You know, if I'm searching for a boiler repair guy and I click on a link and it takes me to a carpet installer, I'm going to click away straight away because it's not relevant. And it's the same with backlinks as well. When you build your backlinks up, try and keep it relevant to what you're doing or what your competitors are using. But I did some tests more recently because of Google's changes, and I did a site with proper meta tags and titles all in it, and then I did one with just H1 tags and no meta title SEO on it. And still now, the one that's doing better is the one with the meta titles on it. I think it's telling Google a bit more information. But you're right, Google will make up its own thing looking at the page. So it does vary.
Yeah, it's interesting. It always feels like no matter what year it is from the last 10 years of Google, they're always shifting things around when it comes to the optimization. Do you guys ever feel this way? Like it's sort of like, let's say for instance, you mastered something and all of a sudden they shift the sands beneath your whole your whole setup, and now you have to just go buy AdWords. Sometimes I just feel like, just cynically, that it's just, why make this change? Is it really that helpful? Perhaps it is, but it's really, you think about it, if they're using AI to create the click-through rate titles that have a higher click-through rate, then who's deciding which pages they're doing that for? That's what makes me very skeptical, because they can do it. They have all the tools to write the software to make the title better, right? Based on the search's intent. But which 10 sites are they going to show? What is the reason for those 10 sites? Is it just click-through rate? That's why I always say click-through rate manipulation is here to stay, because if you can send user signals back to Google, maybe that's what they're going to show, and give a more relevant titles so that the rich get richer, so to speak, with regard to the Google clicks. What do you guys say?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to. I think they're sort of reserving the right just to rewrite it, probably to deal with titles that are very long and very spammy, and I think that's where we're going to see most of the changes. I mean, they say in this article 80% of the time we're just going to go with what the meta title is as written, and if not, we're probably going to look at the H1, which normally I would align them anyway. So it's probably going to be more of the more obscure cases where people have, I mean, I've heard of people putting in 300-400 words into the meta title just to try and spam it. So I think they'll intervene then, but yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. I think there's been a few strange changes made, but we'll see if it settles down.
Very, very interesting. Well, thanks for the update on that. We'll have to stay tuned to see what exactly does happen with it. It just feels a little bit sus to me that they're changing and shifting the sands beneath people that have done SEO.
They're taking the power away from you, aren't they? Because they just say, we're just doing it our way, well, regardless of what you describe your page as. Yeah,
it reminds me of Google Analytics, right? When they used to show you what keywords were getting you the most clicks on all the keywords that come in. Then they started to bring it back to just only a few they would show. Now it's like, it's so unreliable. It's pretty much worthless to use it as a keyword tool to kind of see how you're doing.
Yeah.
They put some of it into Search Console, which is good.
Yeah.
Which is good. But at the same time, I mean, I really like Search Console, but when will that go away? Oh, is the minute that somebody figures out that, wow, SEOs are getting an advantage with this data? It always sounds very suspect for a company that says do no evil. It seems like when it comes to shifting the game all the time. Imagine if you're playing a soccer game or football game over there, and in the middle of the game, the owner of the stadium keeps changing the rules. So you can't really win with all the ways you've practiced all the way up to that point. And it's just like, well, wait a minute, what is their motivation? And it really makes you very suspicious, because they have a horse in the game of paid clicks. So I'm getting very cynical about these big changes like this. Like, why? Why? Of course they can do it. it's their thing.
It's
But
their
at what
platform,
point, what point will small businesses start to say, okay, we're getting done with Google, because this is just, they're going to pick their 10. They're going to say, these are our 10, and we're going to go and make the click-through rate increased. Okay, well, that's great. It makes more quicker clicks, because they know what titles work better based on that search intent.
Yeah.
But
And
what are the
and
10 sites?
Yeah, and they're stacking the deck as well, because they're saying,
Yeah.
well, we're going to have, a couple of directory sites in the top 10. So we're always going to have a Yell, and we're going to have a Yelp, or we're going to have a Checker Trade, and then we're always going to have a couple of articles, and we're going to have a couple of real local businesses, and then straight away that pushes you down once you've got through the maps, the local ads,
and their snippets,
highlights, the snippets.
The
four ads at the top. Yeah.
Now they have the Google approved listings. So do no evil, but yeah, for a small business that's trying to do the right things to appear in the search engine results, they don't have a chance against these Yelp and the Yellow Pages and all these things. And why are they that much better? No, everybody's paying the price to be on page one. And if you don't, the old days of just kind of doing good website and stuff like that,
Yeah, we haven't got Google approved in the UK yet. I don't believe we do, but I know it's in the States, and I think that is a threat to Google My Business, isn't it? Because then you've got to be part of that program. Then it's going to push you out of the 3-pack unless you're paying, and then real, the ability for people to find a real local business that isn't paying, and obviously then you can buy access. So you could be not a local business, you could be a directory or some other type of business, and you just buy the access. And it does go against what Google's meant to be about, which is helping people find results.
Right. So, it's every year it's another step. It just goes another step more toward pay us more, and that's what it comes down to.
I think you guys are missing a trick on this.
What is that?
Well, it's a couple of tricks. Number one, don't put your eggs in one basket. There's Bing, there's all these other search engines out there that you can so easily get listed in, who have a market share, not as big, right, but they do have a market share, right? And secondly, right, as a person that does lead generation, right, if you can get the right price on the Google tick, as I call it, and I had a card through the door the other day for one of my lead gen sites, right? If you're earning, let's look at it this way, right? Let's say you're earning $50 per lead you get in, right? And you send that lead 3 times, that's $150, right? If we are in the situation, right, where you're looking at earning $150 per lead, and you can pay Google a lower amount of money to be at the top of Google to generate more leads, and you look like a real local business without Google thinking that you're a lead generation business, I think you're in a good position. That then means for me, right, if I want to set up in London, I want to set up in Cambridge, I want to set up in Australia, in wherever I want around the world, if I know I can get an address in that area, a virtual address that Google won't think is spammy, and I can set a site up and I can pay Google money to generate leads for me, which I can then sell on to other people 3, 4, 5 times, I'm ahead of the game there. It's all about your profit and margins. It's all about if you're willing to spend, let's say $50 a month or $100 a month to Google, but you could then times that money by 10 to bring in $1,000. Would you do it? That's the question.
Well, yeah, you always buy low to sell high. They're counting on that eventually, right? That you're gonna, like, even if you're really good with pay-per-click ads, right, and you really can get penny clicks and be able to convert them, right? Yeah, you can make money all day with that. I don't have a problem with that. I think that's what I'm having a problem with is the fact that the sands are always shifting, always in their favor. By leaving you a little bit out of the knowledge of why they're doing things and what they're doing, and it just sort of, I get it. We're trying to do the same thing. Like when I ask my Google Home, I ask a question. I want it answered the best that I can. I don't want it to go like send me to 5 different plumber websites to get me to go figure out the answer. It just gives me the answer right away. And I think that they sense that, and they want to make sure that they're doing that for users very quickly and efficiently. And by changing the title, it gives the perception that Google is so perfect with its search results compared to other search engines. It gives them a competitive advantage. If every single listing that comes up has been crafted the right title that matches the search query using AI or whatever, it just makes it look like, wow, these guys have excellent results.
Yeah, they've delivered. Yeah, I get that.
So yeah,
at the end of the day, the way I see it is that if you're in this game, whether it's lead generation or you're building a website for a local business to charge them monthly to look after them, right? Don't just focus on Google, focus on all the search engines, because at the end of the day, it's bums on seats for these companies. It's pulling in leads where they can make more money. The more money they make, the more money you make. And gone are the day. I mean, in the UK now, you look at YouTube. There used to be a time where you could put a video up, a live video on YouTube, and it'd appear on page 1 of Google. Right? But sort of virtually the number 1 slot for ages. In the UK, very rarely do I see a video on Google on the main page of Google. When I search in the USA on my VPS, it does show up that way. But the UK, it doesn't. And so the thing is to remember, it's just trying different things out. It's don't have all your eggs in one basket. Find other ways of doing decent links and make your business, whether you are building a site for a proper business or for yourself in lead generation, make sure it's got good content, make sure it's reliable, because it's about that one person who happens to search for something that comes across your site. And if you can get a low percentage of the market that you can take, I think that works. I mean, the thing to remember as well, Google's a business, right? So if I turn around to you guys and I said to you, right, I've got 10 people lined up who want consultants, so I'm going to give you 5 each, right? But I don't want you to charge for it. I just want you to do it for free, and I want you to spend 6 months doing it. You'd laugh at me, right? And it's a similar thing with Google that yes, they already make billions of pounds a year, whatever it may be, but they change their systems, I think, to make it sometimes more difficult for the people who don't want to pay and slightly easier for the people who do want to pay Google. And that's why, like my advertising now, I look at Bing more, because Bing advertising is just so much cheaper. Bing wants to be Google. We always know that. But Google's the number 1 in the world at the moment. And who knows, there might be another one that will come in and do a better job. And if that happens, then great. But once again, whoever takes over from Google one day will end up only doing the same thing, right? When they get big, it's like a lot of these products. There's some products out there that I know of that you pay lifetime on, and then after a while they sell the company, and the new company who's bought it went, no, we're not honouring the lifetime deal anymore. It's happened. And it's the same thing with Google. Google will just change whenever they want, and we just have to roll with it and find other ways to beat the system, either for free or we join the system and we pay for the services and make it to our advantage. And I think that's what you got to weigh up.
Yeah. Okay.
We let me just throw this on the screen here, just because I have to. Hold on a second. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
This is Bing's market share. Okay. Worldwide, it's 2.32% of the searches worldwide. I understand that includes the Chinese market, but if you notice, it's going down in impact versus going up. And the other search engines, Yahoo, they're just just as small. The market share of everything compared to Google is ridiculously low. They have literally a monopoly at this point, but it doesn't. Let me stop sharing. But it's such a small thing, and that's why I really feel like it's one of these things where I understand what they're doing, because do you want to know how to make dinner, or do you want dinner served to you on a silver platter? That's what they're trying to do, is make it really easy. So when you're looking for information, it just shows up in your hands, Stephen has dealt with the Hurricane Ida and feels like he's lost. I'm really sorry, buddy. I hope everybody's well at your place. He's down near Louisiana. So I hope all your family's okay. And I know that it was rough down in that part of the country as well. It is a Labor Day weekend, which is sort of the unofficial end of summer here in the U.S. It's for labor unions and things like that. Do you guys have a day like that over there?
Not like that, no. We have bank holidays, but that's kind of it, really. Public holidays.
Yeah.
We have a little bit of a light show today because of I think there's fewer people that are out on their computers or out with their families and doing.
And also remember, the USA's been hit hard lately with very bad weather, and I can't imagine what people are going through. And like you said, Daryl, I hope friends and family are all safe. That's the important thing. You can pick yourself up and dust yourself off when things are terrible, but you can't replace loved ones. So I hope everyone is safe. And so with that as well, and there must be places without power at the moment, and situations. So we do hope everyone who does watch us is safe and well, and we do hope you all get through this safely.
Absolutely. So, Stephen, we're done talking about Google.
Yeah.
What would you like to talk about?
I'm going to talk about YouTube, which is actually owned by Google, because in this day and age, for some reason, Google owns everything almost, I think, and it's scary because like the other day down at our local chip shop, I took my 13-year-old daughter down there to pick up some food, and while we were in there, right. They've got an Alexa, which is obviously Amazon's version of the Google one, and so I'm sat in there, and I realize it's an Alexa, so I turn the volume up press the volume up button on it, and just before we leave, I say, Alexa, play me something from the 80s, and I walk out. And then the time it took to pick something, by the time I got to the door, it's playing Ice Ice Baby, and there's my 13-year-old daughter in stitches of laughter because I caught her off guard. But I said, she said, we must get one of them. I went, I'm not having one of them, because with these devices written into the clauses, they're listening. So provided, I haven't got anything to hide, but I wouldn't really want it listening in on a personal conversation between me and a family member. So that's why I don't own those devices. Even your mobile phone, a Google Android phone, can listen in with the terms and conditions. So you always have to watch what you're doing, how you're doing it, and what you're talking about in this day and age. But if you've got nothing to hide, then don't worry about it, But it's certainly an interesting device. And then, of course, I went back down there a few days later to pick something up for a friend of mine, and I had my son with me, and then he wanted to have a go, and he was playing all sorts on it. But back to the point with YouTube, I was going to talk about not getting banned on YouTube. Now, there are various products out there, and I know that Chris mentioned earlier about Yive sites, and I'll come to that in a minute, but they also have Yive videos. And the thing with these products that I've noticed is people generate loads and loads and loads and loads of videos, and it's not of any great content. If you want to be able to have a good channel which is related to what you are doing, just make sure you generate good related content. Content's king, whether it's a website, whether it's YouTube channel, whatever it may be. If you do good information, a good example is a how-to video for your channel, or get someone to make you one. If it's about emergency plumbers, do a how-to on how to do a fitting or something. If you're super lazy, you can go on YouTube and search for Creative Commons videos, which are free to use. Download them, do an edit, add a bit of text either side of it, and your URL, and put that up. But just be careful on uploading, let's say, 50 videos that are all pretty much the same, but all that's different is maybe the intro and outro. Because Google and YouTube are getting very, very clever nowadays. And I know of people who've had their accounts shut down because they're just too spammy. And when your YouTube channel is too spammy, that's where the problem comes up. It's the same with anything with Google and YouTube. They want value. Every day they want value. I was talking to one chap this week. He runs a YouTube channel which has relaxing sleep music on it. he's making money out of it, really good money. And I said, how have you done it? He said, I go and search for Creative Commons sleep music, and I'll take that video, pull it into another editor, change all the images for copyright-free images, and then re-upload it. And he said, and I'll change the length of it a little bit, chop a bit off or fade it out early. And YouTube haven't so far picked up on him, but I just think it's a matter of time before the algorithms will say, hello, this is the same as this video over here. And everything that you're doing online, remember, if you're uploading videos and you're doing stuff with Google Sites and all these things, it takes up server space on Google systems. So if you're not offering value and you're doing a ton of spammy channels, then they're going to get taken down. And the other thing I recommend you do, each channel you set up, whether you buy a channel or not, set up a fresh email address. And what I like to do is I'll buy a domain name, and I'll set that domain name up with an email address, which is linked then to the YouTube account. And it's my own email address, because I'm finding that if you use a Gmail account and it's not linked to a decent email address, that Google starts thinking that's a bit spammy also. So it's all about protecting your content and protecting your sites. When you upload videos, tag them properly, create playlists, title them properly, spend the time with your YouTube channel, putting an image at the top of, a decent image about the channel, fill in the bio, all the information on there. Do each channel properly, as if, look at some decent channels online that are doing really well. Make sure you fill them in with decent content. And if you build the channel properly, it will stick around for ages. If you just go and buy a channel from someone on Fiverr or somewhere like that, and you don't do much, just chuck videos on it, it will die its death, and you won't have it that long. You waste your money and time. That's the main thing with it. It's content, great content, good videos, tag them properly, label them properly, and I think you'll be fine. I think you'll get to keep your channels. But try not to have them all under one Gmail account, because I know someone who had 25 YouTube channels running happily, and he had one spammy channel, and every single one got shut down because it was all linked to him. So you just got to be extra careful, really. And the final thing I will say, because I know Chris earlier on mentioned about Yive sites. Now, again, Yive sites are running an unlimited deal. If you're interested, I'll send you guys out a link in the chat. And I'm going to be using Yive sites to build myself blog PBNs, but I'm going to do it in a very careful way. I'm not going to build hundreds and thousands of them. I'm going to build like a group of them in a niche, have different content, link them up to my own domain names to generate the content. And I'm planning on doing a video on that. Probably now it's going to be November because of everything going on with DFY themes. But the thing with Yive sites, and this weekend only, I think it's only today, that they're running the unlimited deal again, lifetime unlimited deal, and then it's monthlies again. But remember that there are a lot of people who will be using these, so you have to use them wisely and don't just generate crap content, as I'd like to call it. Do decent content, and I think that way, then, if you're making the sites look good and the content is good, I think you'll be fine. And it's the same with anything. So, but yeah. That's really everything on it, and in a bit I'll set a banner up with the link where if you guys want to get Yive Unlimited, you can. It's like anything, it's a tool, so you have to make sure you use it in the right way. Don't spam. The more spam you do, the more likely you're going to get things shut down.
Yeah, very true. I mean, the thing is, have you ever been to like do you have a dollar store over there?
Poundland, it's called.
Poundland, we do.
Okay, yeah. So
Poundland.
So imagine a 5-cent store where everything is basically nothing invested in it. It's just absolute pieces of plastic junk, right? How much fun would you have buying something in that kind of a place? And what would you, if you, everywhere you went, there was just all this like scattered, what you just call garbage everywhere. You wouldn't like you wouldn't want it, right? You'd be like, this is just so annoying. So, if you can do something in bulk, but keep the quality up, that's what I'm all about with Mass Page. That's why I try to give you the tools that can kind of help you to try to do that. That's our whole goal, and to do that. But anytime you take a tool like Yive, Marcus and Yive group does some great tools, but like you said, in moderation. And it's garbage in, garbage out, just like with my form, just like with Steve's DFY. Anything that you put garbage in, content wise, and you just you don't even spend any time checking it for any kind of quality control. I mean, the one off here or there where there's some glitches in the text and grammar and things like that, that's going to happen occasionally, right? That's given. But when it comes down to the overall mass production of garbage, it just comes out the other end as garbage, and there's just nobody wants it. Google doesn't want it, the user doesn't want it, people that actually read text doesn't want it. So you have to be very careful of what you do, and how you serve that person's time. You're taking up their time by showing up in the search engines. You might as well come up with something valuable. There's like those computer generated voices and these videos that just have text across them. And they really don't give any real information. It just sounds like somebody hiding behind a computer generated voice. Every time I see those, I get like, it was pretty annoying, But I mean, if the information was super valuable and you can't find it anywhere else, okay, that's interesting. But there you go. I just think that sometimes it's good to, if you're going to go bulk with a tool like that, spend the extra, half hour to an hour and make sure what you're putting into the spreadsheet that builds this stuff is good and decent quality. Would you all agree?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I know Chris was asking about the Yive sites thing, and I went for the unlimited originally when it came up the first time round, and I had some of my own people in my own groups asking me, saying they missed out on that deal. And so I'm planning on putting together a training course in November, which will basically be showing people how I use it in a very sensible way. You've got to be so careful, and it's very much like that. It's doing it in a very careful and safe way. If you're not careful, then you end up things being spammy, and you don't want that, at the end of the day. It's like anything,
this is the same for Yive, it's the same for Magic Page plugin, it's the same for Enterprise, it's the same for everything. Mass Page. I mean, because you do have the power to pump out 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, 100,000 pages. You can use technology to do that, but just because you can doesn't mean you should. And I think that's right. There's a real diminishing return just sort of putting out the content. I mean, I on the Yive sites deal, I bought it when it was unlimited. It was a couple of months ago, I think it came out, and it's come out again. I've had a little bit of a play with it. I think, Steve, you're further into it than I am, but it's definitely interesting. There's also blogging, there's also news, there's other things you can feed through it, and I think for unlimited, it sounds like a pretty good deal. Really, just worth playing, even if you just use it as buffer sites to send links to before you send them onto your money site. It's probably quite a good tool to have once you've learned how to use it. So yeah.
And Lily, if you're looking to get it, the link is on the screen, dfimagicthemes.com/yive-sites. But like I said, you've got to use it in moderation. Don't do what I see in Marcus's group. People are all the time talking continually about these products, and saying, "Oh, I built a blog with 50,000 pages on it." Right, and the problem being, most of those 50,000 pages are pretty much the same content, and Google's going to penalize you. You've got to have a system in place that is creating the content in a way that it is unique, or as unique as possible, and it looks good. The way I'm building these is actually I'm building news sites, and off the new, as I build the news sites, then I'm going to put a banner on or a link back to my money site. I'm using it as a firewall between the outer world of Google, as I call it, and my site. So there's my website there. Here's the firewall, which is a Yive site, and I chuck all my links to that Yive site because I don't care what happens to that. If something happens and my site starts getting damaged, oh, look, I've got a little bug here. I don't know if you can see it. It's just turned up on my.
Oh boy, that's a big bug.
Yeah. So anyway, but the thing is it's having that firewall in place. So if something bad goes wrong with all the backlinks, or someone wants to try and damage your backlinks onto one of those Yive sites, you can go onto that site, remove the link to your money site, and you're protected. And that's how I'm using them. It's continuous or rolling news or a blog post related to the niche. With then a little advert or a link back to my money site, and it's just protecting yourself. You could do it a similar way by setting up a domain name on an expired domain, old domain, but a whole lot of news on it, and then you'll link on that site. And if something happens, you shut that site down, or the link across, But that's the main thing. And it's the same with any links. It's just being careful. The only direct links I do is citations or Facebook or Twitter, social media.
I think that's good advice.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, definitely good advice.
Until you have a lot of traffic and a lot of authority, then of course the rich get richer when you add more links. But when it comes down to it, like everything in moderation, especially backlinks and garbage in, garbage out, a lot of these principles are just sort of the golden rule of producing things in bulk. You just have to make sure you have the quality control. If you're going to go massive, you got to make sure you don't overdo it, especially because there's an algorithm to deal with. And let's see. Somebody asked a question. I'm a little late to the conversation, but wanted to ask if I have MPub, do I still need or can I use Yive sites? Yive sites, I don't have Yive sites.
Let's be honest, right? It's a different product to how it works compared to what you guys are doing with MPub and sort of the Menterprise way. So you can look at it two ways. You can use both, or what I say is if you've got one, focus on it. But the thing is, if you can't afford to get this, I would say if you haven't got the money to buy it, don't get it. Right? Don't put yourself in debt because of it. Right? But if you're someone that you're doing really well out of all your sites, you've got quite a lot of money in the bank and you can afford to get it, because the lifetime deal is not going to come back. He very rarely does does bring it back. There's a whole lot of people who moaned in his group saying they missed out, and so it's one of those things you got to weigh up. I'm using it the way I'm using it, but I think what MPub and what you guys are doing with that, Daryl and Simon, is probably far more powerful in the long term.
Yeah, I mean, Menterprise publishing is a bigger scale thing. There's no question about it. So you can publish 10,000 pages within 15 minutes on Menterprise publishing. I believe you struggle with that on Yive sites. It's a different kind of product, different scale of product.
Yeah,
you potentially could use them in parallel, I suppose. I mean, you could use Menterprise publishing to send links to Yive sites potentially to power them up and use it that way, or you could have it the other way around. You could use Yive sites as a buffer to send links to Yive sites and then to your Menterprise pages. But obviously Menterprise, you tend to have a lot of subdomains and a lot of individual pages, so you might struggle to keep on top of that. I mean, I'm not using it that way, but that's the way you could use it. You could try and power up the Yive sites with backlinks, or you could use it as a buffer. If I was going to use like Yive sites, that's probably why I bought it, was really to think of it as a buffer site, put some old domains on it, send Money Robot or Ranker X or something like that through it, and maybe even through again a Google site or something like that, and then onto your money site, just to kind of have a chain of links. But that's how I would look at it. They do, at the very basic level, they do some of the similar things in that they do create multiple sites, but it's kind of a different scale, different approach, really. Yeah.
I think as well, when you're in lead generation or mass page building, whichever direction, sort of rank and rent, whatever areas you're going into, you wouldn't just set one site up, right, hoping you're going to get some leads from it and that's it and put your feet up. You want multiple sites in an area. And it's very similar when it comes to doing backlinks. If you can use Yive sites as your firewall, and then MPub to be the one that's generating all thousands of links to those sites. And you have an article on a Yive site related, let's say, plumbing, and a link to your money site, right? And the contact form on the Yive site, and so you build maybe a Yive blog post all the proper information, phone number, contact details, and it can be that firewall between your money site. And if something does go wrong, because Google's their own entity now, as we know, they do tomorrow we can have a new algorithm update, then suddenly Yive Sites is dead. And there's nothing we can do about it, because they've got 20 IP addresses and they've realized it's all spam. Or, and that can happen. But if you've got that and you've got 5, 6 other products that can help you with these things that do similar, then you're in a situation that if one goes down, you've got the others to back you up. And that's sort of the way I look at it.
Yeah, the question there, are you actively using it? So from my point of view, I bought it because, FOMO, I saw unlimited sites and it looked quite interesting, and I'd heard other people talking about it. I think I bought it in for like $197. So it wasn't nothing, but it wasn't like a massive commitment. And I've played around with it, and I think I probably use it as a PBN, but I'm not using it actively at the moment. I posted an automated blog. It fits into like a news posting service, which is quite premium, but you can do some test ones, and it worked quite nicely for that. And I posted a Article Forge blog on it and just stuck some content up, and I've left it. But I really sort of still working out how to use it, but I'd probably use it as a PBN buffer site, basically.
Which is how I'm using it as well, Simon. Really, I'm using it as a PBN buffer site, and then I drive other traffic to that. And that way, then my money site's protected, and then my money site has citations, your Yelps, your Facebook links, things like that. They're decent links. But the other cool thing about it as well is you can then take the content from Yive, and if you like the look of it, and it's written good. Let's say you managed to write some decent content in there, you could copy that content and put it as a blog post on your money site, and then set up a system that when you post that blog, you schedule it and it bounces out to all your social media channels automatically using IFTTT or one of those products. So
I think Yive might support RSS as well. Actually, I think from memory, I think it's one of it'll take our RSS feed or generate them. So there's other things you could maybe have a play around with there. Yeah,
but I'd certainly use if you're thinking about it, then and you can afford to go for both, because they'll complement each other. They really will.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool. Awesome. Well, we're getting closer to the top of the hour. I think that what we should do is probably move forward with a bit of what I had to share, and then we'll give away a domain, and I guess we'll open up the guest line after that if anybody wants to join us for that. Stephen was talking about a friend of his that had some sound effects or something like that. What was it that you were saying? It made me think of a site that I built a few years ago. I had a domain that I still have. It's dec.af, like decaf, and I wanted to make a relaxing background noise for working, relaxing, and studying, because I sometimes like to just put on my headphones and have some like background ambient noises. So if anybody wants to use this, they're free to use it. If you click on this, it sounds like a dishwasher. You click on this, it sounds like construction workers. And then you can combine them, so you can have the sound of dishwasher and construction worker. Or you could have the ocean and the river. And you can play them at once, and you can adjust the volume on it. So if anybody is interested in that, it's kind of cool. dec.af. Until we sell the domain, I figured I would just put it on there. I just like to play around sometimes. All right.
Cool.
Yeah,
that's cool. We like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a little bit of ADD, so it's like if I have something always input, I can actually focus and work longer. But if I have absence of something continuous, and these just recycle and they continue, forever. So, all right. The other thing is there was a post from Anand. He's in India. I've seen some of his work before with mass pages. He does a good job. We've had some conversations about some of his philosophies on mass page and things like that. The reason why I bring it up, we put it in the Facebook group because he put it on AppSumo, which is the first time I think I've ever seen a mass page mention on AppSumo. He changed it around. I gave him some suggestions. He changed it around so that you could do multiple mass page sites, things like that. This is not an endorsement or anything like that, but this is just to show you that if you don't have time to use the Magic Page plugin and the form, he has our form and everything, and he can help build you just a custom website for that price point where you don't have to do any lifting at all. So that's just something. Not an endorsement. It's just something to check out. He does have a guarantee as well through AppSumo, so that's something else to look into. So research it. Go ahead and message him through the Facebook group if you want to ask him questions. Feel free to do that. All right, Mentorprise. I know of some things that are coming up, but what happened recently is dark mode, which I love. I'm a big fan of dark mode in the publishing. And what's happening here is they've got some filters now. So like if, for example, you wanted to bulk delete pages, okay, this is very interesting. So if you had a campaign that was going for a while, right, and you wanted to go with hits between 0 and 0, right, apply filter. Let's see if it'll do it. 0 and 1. Let's do 0 and 3, because that should be doing more than that. There we go. So out of all these thousands of pages, there's 3,833. So I wonder if I'll be able to delete out these pages. We'll see. I'm just going to take these here. I just made it 1,000, so it's going to take some time. Yep, looks like I can delete selected. Let me try it and see if it, because everything will change. If you want to permanently delete them, removing any links. I'm not going to actually do it because I have links that are pointing through these, but you can, of course, do that. But there's other things that are becoming in bulk that you'll be able to do. And the other factors here, we're looking to get some numbers on the campaigns. We talked to the developer about allowing you to see how many total hits you've gotten per campaign that you've done, so you'll be able to get an idea just from the front end. And so that's why they have all this stuff going on. So, all right, so that's that. There was something else. There's dark mode, and there was something else, I think. Tables.
You going to tell us anything about image fly or anything like that, or is that in your next bit, or are you going to say that?
Yeah, I'm gonna get to that. So this is they just did some fixes on a few things, and I'm planning to do a training with Christy maybe tomorrow if we have some time toward the evening. And because it is Labor Day weekend, we wanted to wait till the weekend was over because we have less numbers. So definitely wanted to do that and get some people some training on this. If you're interested in Mentorprise, just get in touch with me at daryl.chat, and we can talk to you about Mentorprise and tell you and answer any questions you have. All right. ImageFly, I noticed that the stuff that he had talked about as we were talking, I double checked it, and it isn't up and running. So I can't really show ImageFly. It's basically the same as what I showed last week, but there's they fixed it. They just haven't pushed all of the modules live. So I don't have it, so I can show you right now. And as far as Siphon, I was having a few little problems. Not sure if it was my computer or whatever, but I wanted to show you the live server here. If you'd go in here, and I'm going to take this here, paste it. So this center setting is our own AI. It's not using any other services. And this one uses another API, so it gives you a different variety. But what I wanted to show you is if you go here, I don't know if you guys can see this okay. I'll just enlarge it a little bit. But you click on Show Original, and you read the top 2 sentences. It's a lot different, okay? And the reason why I built Siphon this way is I first wanted to hit it with an AI that changes a lot of the wording. And then my second step was always to do this, which is spin the text. And while we were working on the project, the good folks over at Word AI updated their spin text system. And we've always had Word AI included, but now if you go here, not only has it been rephrased, okay, if you go here, now it's like got a totally different start, because it's, you're not starting with the same that everybody else would have, right? So if you respin it, it's really changing things around for you so that you can have a lot of different variations. You don't have to do a ton of spin text, because sometimes too much spin text is actually, I think, too much of a signal of automation. So like we talked about before, do what's reasonable. But this is a tool that you have with Siphon that you can grab this content, and then you can also merge it and send it all to the form, or you can send all to the form, and you can also merge the content and download it. So that comes into play when you do a search, the search side of this, which is keyword search. And we also have these presets, so you could put in here. Let's see if we go with blog, and we're looking for plumber in Texas. All right. It's going to load the URLs. And it's going to look for URLs that have the word blog in the URL, which it did here. Okay. And it also has the keyword plumber in Texas. So it's going out and finding it and rewriting that content. Okay. And it's giving you the rundown as it goes. So if you click here, you can see this text is different on this section. Here's another one. So it changes up each one. Okay, and you can do the same steps that I just showed you before. You can spin the text. This one has a cookie thing that you can't scrape. And so you can also remove that one. I'm going to do that after I've got all the content here. See, some of them have special characters, and it stops it from pulling all the content. So I'll just remove this one and remove this one. And so what you can see is you have a lot of text here that has been rewritten that you can check against Copyscape, and then you can also spin it. So let's say you want spin. Let's say you wanted to keep this one the way it is. And then you want to do spin on this one here. Right, so you have some that's consistent on the page, and then some that change, which is what we find works the best. All right, and then we go up to here, and we're going to go ahead and so you can send it to the form. And it's going to ask you what form you want to send it to. So that's the next step in this is that. So yeah, so that's that. I mean, I really think that it's nice that you're able to spin it after it's been redone. That was the whole thought process behind it. And there's a lot of stuff in here. So if you don't have Siphon, go ahead and reach out to me. I'd be happy to give you sort of some of the tricks and things that I do with it. We actively use it on websites that we're cloning. Somebody will say, I want a clone of this website, but I want it rewritten. This helps us to get it rewritten for them. And we, after that, we go ahead and take a look at it and make it their own. But it gives you kind of a starting point. And then, of course, you can clean it up and that kind of thing. So you pass Copyscape fairly easily. Now, one of the things I wanted to also talk about is bulk email. Okay. If you are doing bulk email, one of the things that I'm learning from this course that I'm following is that you don't have to send 40,000 emails to get a result, where you could actually target your list and do a little bit of legwork and get a much higher return rate on your emails. So I happened to find this tool. There's a couple other ones, but I just thought this one was very interesting, where you can get yourself some icebreaker text. So if you've ever gotten a bulk message on LinkedIn or an email that's in bulk, you can tell like within a half a second that it is a bulk message, that nobody took any time to look into things. And so what people in the sales industry are trying to do is do icebreakers, where they're actually like looking for information on their social media, on the posts they put in their blogs and things like that, to insert into the very top of the email to grab attention, that they actually paid attention to something that they've done, kind of customize it. It reminds me of some of the things we do to kind of customize videos in bulk, or to customize pages in bulk and things like that. But email is still very, very, very powerful. So this Smart Writer AI impressed me. Even with tools like Jarvis and things like that. This one impressed me too, in its own class of things. So let's say we have a project here. We're going to call test 2. And it's going to give you the option to do these various icebreakers. Okay. So you can do it based on LinkedIn outreach. You can do it based on their website URL. You can do it based on backlink request messages. So like if you're looking for somebody to give you backlink, you could reach out about their blog, and it'll ask some specific questions about their blog. This is good for backlinking. And then here's one for taking a Google review and generating something out of that. So I'll take this one here, and I'm going to do it manually, and I'm going to put in I think this is a website. Let me just double check here. There's a place called Domino's Pizza. I'm going to put that there. And I'm going to go ahead and generate copy. What this is going to do is it's going to check the Google reviews for Domino's Pizza in New York City. And it'll write some personalized icebreakers that I can use to contact, say, Domino's Pizza, right? This is just an example. I think that there's a lot of potential in this kind of technology. So you take a look at this here. It says, hey, first name, just read Aaron's Google reviews from 6 months ago about how he loved the Philly cheesecake and personal pizza. I'm a big fan of the personal pizzas myself. They're perfect for sharing with a friend. That's AI responding to an actual review inside of Google. And that kind of email will get attention when you first are sending it. Okay. So we'll go back to this test 2 again, and let's try a different copy point. Okay. And we're going to do this manually. Let's see if we can do I'll do mine. Don't have too much on there, but all right. So this is a company I do some marketing with. So that's on my LinkedIn. So I'm going to pop this in here. I'm going to pop this in and we're going to create a message. And you can do this with a CSV file. So you can give a bunch of data and it can go ahead and write these little blurbs for you. And then you can put them into like a lem list or your emailing software and use that field as the first field in this. Do you guys have any insights on this while it's doing this?
No, I love all this stuff, to be honest, and I think it could really be a time saver. I've got Lemlist. I have to say I've not used it that much, but I know it's very powerful. But I also know that the real trick of getting people to respond to cold emails is to make it look not completely like a spam. You sent it 1,000 times. So yeah, I think AI making these personalizations, I think it's fantastic. So yeah, I'm gonna have a look at this.
Yeah, so here's one here on my blog somehow. It says, I read that you're looking for mentors and business partners to learn from. I bet you're a fantastic negotiator, and I'm sure you never let your work consume your life. Well, that's not true. But anyway, yeah, so I think let me just do one more here while we're looking at this. I think this backlinks one has some potential for asked to write a guest post, asked to link, add a link to their post. I'm going to do that. And introduce our product is the most accurate. Okay. So 2 unique points about your blog that adds value. Okay.
David's saying, what's the name of the email sender? And Lily's asking, how much does this cost?
I'm not sure how much it costs. I don't have a referral link or anything like that. I just am generally talking about the technology. I think it was like $20 for a certain number. There's also a pay-as-you-go plan. All right, so I'm just gonna do like this. Get results, local landing page solution. All right, and go ahead and do that. We're going to manually put this in, type in the blog. So I'm just going to put in ask that page and type a blog. All right, let's see here. Going to try to generate copy. So Simon, you know about asking for guest posts and being able to get links put on existing blogs. What is your thought on this?
Well, I mean, it's hard work because you need to ask a lot of people to do it, and unless they're obviously just paying, you're buying links off Fiverr or something like that. But if you're going out to genuine websites, it's hard work, and people have run popular blogs are going to get a lot of these kind of emails, and many of them might be ignored. So I think if you can write a personalized message like this, you're going to be much more likely to get a response. So I think it's good. It's going to improve your hit rate. So yeah, I think it's good.
Yeah, so it seems like you put a lot of time and effort into your blog post. And again, you can do this with a CSV file. So you can do this in bulk. So, if I saw this and I saw optimized lead generation, I saw mass page, and I would just scan this really quickly and I'd be like, okay, this is interesting. Somebody actually wrote this, So, how would you like to add our locally optimized, perfect for your lead gen? And with mass pages, you can build them in less than 10 minutes and you'll get results quickly. It's cool. I really just thought this was interesting as I was going through different softwares today. This one's called Smart Writer. There's another one called Line AI, LYNE.ai. And there's another one called, I can't remember what it is. I can't remember. And so they're kind of trying to solve this icebreaker idea for emails. And I could also see that this could be used with dynamic videos as well. So if you're sending an email to somebody with one of those tools that make dynamic videos, right, you could really like that program video, you could take this text and put it into a custom video because it's coming from a screen thing, and you could send them a nice video with this information right in it directly to them. So I think it has a lot of potential for us. I might do a webinar just to kind of show it, and show what it could do in that sense. But I wanted to show this off. It's called smartwriter.ai. I know it does some other things as well, but I just was enthused about this part there. All right. So that is all of that I have. We're still going to give away a domain name. We don't have a lot of people in the chat here today, so somebody's going to get a really good domain. Let me go ahead and show off what we got. Pop your
names in the chat while the domain names are being read out, and so you want to be in it to win it, I say.
Yes. Buyautoleads.com, restorationprices.com, readstory.net, and promotionalrate.com. These are all worth over $1,000 easily. So just this readstory.net is a very old domain. So
yeah, if that's one I'd go for, that'd be awesome for Enterprise. That would be perfect. So gutted I can't enter.
I should let
tonight, if we don't get many, maybe we'll put our names in.
Yeah, I'll let you guys put your name in. That's fine. Yeah, let's do that. Just tonight we'll let you do that because it is a holiday here.
If one of us wins, people are going to say this is a fix. This is going to if I get Read Story, I'll be very happy, but it's going to look dodgy. But I'm just saying that up front. But let's go for it. I'm not going to argue.
Yeah, go ahead, put your name in there, and we'll add it. So Simon, Steve, I can't win. All right,
you're giving them away.
Yep. I just got some good ones yesterday, so you guys will benefit from that.
Don's calling it a fix already. Look at that. He's straight in there. Oh, that's not right.
Yeah, Brian. David Tulloch, Bob. I don't know Bob. Matthew, George. George, I'd love your comment on that software. George is a big fan of different softwares. I was talking to him about this one earlier. And asked if he knew about a lifetime deal because apparently this one flew by me on AppSumo, and I'm killing myself that I didn't get it. So definitely check it out, guys. It's cool.
I always think with AppSumo, right? The one thing you got to look at AppSumo in a way. I love lifetime deals as well, right? But you need to have the attitude that some lifetime deals that come out may not be around forever and they may disappear. All right. And we knew that with that. I think Vidami years ago was probably on one of these lifetime. Well, I knew it was on a lifetime deal. I don't know if it was through AppSumo or not. But, so you got to understand that you're buying into it now. So use it as much as you can now because you can't tell the future where it's going to be. But I mean, there are some products out there I've bought that are still around 5 years on. So it's sort of, it's just pot luck really, and understand you'll be prepared to spend the money and hope that it's around for years. I've been very lucky with all the things I've got off of AppSumo. And the other thing to say as well, I had a product that did fail a year and a half after I had it, and I emailed AppSumo and they came back and said, here's the credits for it, we do apologize. So sometimes you get your money back for AppSumo, so it's a good safe bet anyway, I think.
Walter, I put you in the contest because I saw you on there, and then you can decide whether you want to or not. We got employees, contractors, officers, and directors of sponsors, its affiliates, parent companies, and subsidiaries, divisions, suppliers, distributors, and advertising. I'm not going to read this stuff. Contest rules. Nobody reads them. Except for lawyers.
Yeah, no one reads terms and conditions. We should start putting on our sites that anyone who purchases stuff from us agrees to run naked through the middle of their major city for half an hour. People might start reading the terms and conditions then.
All right, let me share my screen again. All right, and I'm going to put not Daryl, because I'm the only one that apparently that can't win. Walter's in. Okay, cool. Thank you, guys. All right. I should be charging you guys for these domains because I got to pay for this sweet phone I just got. All right. All right. Anybody else? Last chance. And of course, we'll open up the guest line for a few minutes afterwards. But we'd love to hear from you if you have anything that you have to say or you want to yell at us for bashing Google earlier. Fine. Come on. Bring it on. I'll take it. Make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you tell other people about it. If you're into domains, always at the end, we give you a little dessert. We let you pick from my stash of domains that I spend time looking for. And we have, what's that? Is Babe really Bob? Oh, do I have Babe? Yeah. Bob. Okay, cool. All right. Somebody says spin the wheel. 3C pod. Let me put that. I have him as Steven, but let's put 3 C's. Okay. Oops. There we go. All right, folks. We are ready to spin the wheel. I love the sound effect. Might be Walter.
Hey,
it is Walter.
Well done,
Look at that, Walter. Congratulations. I'll tell you what, Walter, these are pretty valuable domains. If you're able to use them, great. If not, you can always sell it and then buy yourself a seat at that software. If you want to know a little bit more about it and play around with it. I just did the trial. I'm just messing around with it right now. But I might do something with it. So buyautoleads.com. If you were selling leads to auto dealerships, that would be worth an incredible amount of money. Restoration prices. So if you're in the water damage restoration, which a lot of people in the United States have some water damage, that would be a great site because it's an exact match. ReadStory.net. I actually purchased it to use for Menterprise, but I figured I would share it with some people today if they wanted to pick that up. That is from the 90s. So it's a very old domain. And promotionalrate.net or .com actually. So if you have a credit card affiliate site and they have different promotional rates for the first year, that would be a really great website for a credit card affiliate. So there's a lot to choose from, Walter. Congratulations. And Don says, still the best game show on Sunday. So
yeah, and it wasn't a fix either because me and Simon didn't win.
Yeah. So go ahead and Walter, if you want to decide. If not, just tell me you'll decide later and just send me a message. We can talk later.
Just make sure you claim it within 7 days, otherwise it gets put back in the pool.
I do. Yeah, I give them 2 weeks, but yeah,
2 weeks. Yeah, 14 days. You see.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks.
Yeah, some people we start the process and they never follow through with their end of it. So if you ever have a problem, it doesn't transfer, reach out to me because I don't want to give it away again. But of course, I want to be able to sell it if you don't use it. So I do this because I like to, getting domains and flipping them, and this is a passion, so it's enjoyable for me. And a lot of times, if I have some time, I'll build a website. And because of my experience, it doesn't take me too long to build a concept site. So it's a lot of fun to do. All right, Walter, I don't hear from you right now, so we're going to go ahead and take this off the screen. And let's see here. We'll put up the banner for guest. Where is guest? Oh, there's one other thing I want to say while I'm waiting for Walter to give us an answer. He can, of course, reach out to me. The guys over at Kingmaker Software, we had them on a few weeks ago with the QA tool. If you go to this page, he has a bundle on there, and he's getting ready to launch a new tool. So if you get the bundle through this link, go.ht/QA tool, he's going to include this new product that comes out. So you'll get a license for that, which I think, Simon, you have the bundle, right?
Yeah, I've got the bundle. Yeah, I started off with Question Forge, and then the bundle was offered, so I upgraded that. The guy Drew was really helpful, just let me upgrade and not lose out, so that was great. And looks like I'll get something else, so that's cool.
Yeah, the other one is a snippet tool, featured snippet tool. So it does the basic things of the QA tool, and he's going to take some of the other features to have Word AI included, to have the exports and all that kind of stuff. But then we were talking, this is sort of just new. Nobody here knows this. We were talking about another plan, another software that I'm somewhat partnering with him on. I gave him the idea. I gave him the domain for it. And he's going to go ahead and build it out. But it's a really interesting concept. And I think that you guys will be liking some of the softwares that he puts out. So great guy, Drew, and look forward to doing more work with him on things. So, all right, guest line, where is that?
While you're finding that, I'm going to mention something that both myself and Simon are going to, and I'll just upload a screenshot a minute because it'll be easier than
go ahead.
My screen, which is this. It's the SEO Underground in the UK. It's held at Newmarket in the UK, and myself and Simon are going to it, which is basically Mike. I know Mike Martin and all the team from Mass Page are going to be there, and currently, if you use this coupon code, you get $50 off the price. It's not around for long. So if you are thinking of wanting to meet my ugly mug in person, and Simon's and Mike Martin and the team, we're all going to be there October the 14th. The reason I'm saying about it now is I know hotels get booked up early, and tickets get sold very, very quickly. So I just thought to share that in case you want to come. I know a few people are wanting to come and meet us in person. And catch up. So it's always a good thing to, we always love meeting people. So and now lockdown's almost over.
Sounds good. I'm looking forward to meeting you, Steve, in person. Yeah. That'll be good.
That'll be good.
I think it looks like quite a good conference, so it should be good. It's a black hat conference. Obviously, don't recommend black hat, but if you want to know about black hat stuff, it looks like.
I think also there's going to be some standard SEO stuff there as well.
Yeah.
I know Mike Martin will talk about all the tools that are there, and but it's always good to meet people, exchange ideas. That's what I'll be honest with you, that's what a lot of these conferences are for, really. And I'm traveling up the night before to Newmarket to catch up with some people. I know that a chap called Tommy, who's in Mike's group, who I've known for some years now, he's coming over from the Netherlands, or planning on coming over from the Netherlands to the event. So people travel from around the world.
I think it should be good.
Yeah.
All right, well, the guest line is open for you for a few more minutes if you want to jump on and tell us how we should all grow more hair except for Simon. You're welcome to do that.
Just come and say hello,
or you know what, if you want to tell us we all have 4 eyes. I didn't realize we all wear glasses, but apparently it must be a prerequisite of the show as well.
Old age, I think.
You won't believe I had my eyes lasered years ago, and I only wear glasses when I'm using my computer now. When I first had my eyes done, fantastic. What they don't tell you of laser eye surgery is as the years go on, your eyes get a little bit bad naturally. So I can still see normally without them, but I can't read anything on my mobile phone or on a computer screen without glasses again. So if you think that, leave it, to be honest.
And the paper you sign, it says no refund, right?
Yeah.
You're on your own.
I got a lump sum of money back out of them because they cocked up the venue I was going to in Bristol. They sent me to the wrong site, and and I complained, and they gave me a bit of money back. So it always pays to put a polite letter of complaint in.
If you ask for a refund, they take your eyeballs.
Earlier on, Lily asked, I don't know if she's still watching, but she mentioned that she used to have MWB for a resale and loved it. Has there been any updates lately? Is it...
I was talking to one part of the team this week, and we have a few things that we still are waiting to work out. I know we're bouncing the ball down the road, but everybody on the team is very busy, so we're trying. Like I've showed some of the things that it does. Nothing different has happened since that point. We're just between testing and trying to work out a couple of things that I asked for to have done, and then we're also trying to see if there's better compatibility with some of the templates and things like that. So we want it to be really as good as it can be. I know that it takes some time to work all those little bugs out and things like that, but the developer is very busy, to be honest, and so we're going at it. But all of these softwares and things like that, when you have a small team and you're bootstrapping, it's time and money, and you only have so much time and so much money sometimes, unless you're funded or something like that. you have to go at intervals that you can grow at. So that's the thing. But I am 100% committed with mass page tools and building tools to help with doing things in bulk. The idea, that tool that I just showed you today, I really feel like that you could do bulk videos with that and make some really good messages that could do what you call lead gen, because if you use email, you use websites, you use your video, all of that stuff is lead gen. And it's all about the same thing as what we're talking about every day. So,
no, I agree. And with all these tools, what you've got to remember is sometimes we'll release a product early, right, and it'll be in beta mode for a while because we want guys to test it, play around with it, break it if they can, so we can make sure it's ready for the masses. And also, the thing with these tools, they're there to help you. So and so that's why when Daryl, Mike, myself, released these tools, and you can get in early. Simon will do courses which you can get in on an early deal. As we add more and more value to these, and they do get more and more valuable, right? We're here for the long haul. We're not here, we're not one of these products that you buy in early, get maybe a lifetime deal or a cheap deal, and then 8 months later, bye-bye, we're not here. So the product has to be right, and the people that obviously got in originally at the start of MWB will end up having even more value than ever. And it's the same with anything, all the tools that I do and all the tools that Daryl offers, you're in early, and there's always more value being added all the time to them. So it may take 6 months or 12 months or a year and a half to get it right. But once the devs have got it 100% right for you guys, you can have a product that's going to be evergreen. It's going to keep working and working and working. And like I said, we're here for the long haul. We're not here. There's a lot of IM people out there. 6 months later, the product's gone. You've wasted your money. And we're not like that. We're here to support you. So you have to bear with us sometimes. We get frustrated. I'm sure Daryl does, when we're kicking our darts at the devs up the backside and saying, come on, get it sorted. But at the end of the day, the product has to be 100% right in our opinion, and we like to test it thoroughly. But all these things come together at the right time, and I know they'll add extra value and they'll be even better than they were before.
Well said. Don says we don't have Tesla money. Yeah, we're not building rockets, and we're not building subways underneath cities and things like that. So yeah, you're right. We don't have money to to blow around. I actually am reinvesting money that comes in from affiliate money, which should normally go into my wife and my pocket. I invested into building more tools for you guys. So nobody can say that I'm not trying to give you guys the best I can give you. I always am. We're always looking to improve and find better ways to make our tools better for you guys. And we have a lot of lifers. We have a lot of people that have paid for the lifetime, and so they're benefiting from all of that. and that's what it's all about. You guys invested in this before it has it's taken off this year, and we appreciate you guys. So,
we do, yeah.
Yep, definitely. All right, I guess we'll take down the calls, right?
Yeah.
And doesn't look like we have anybody that's joining us.
No one wants to come and say hello or ask us. You guys, you get a great opportunity here. If there's something we talked about tonight, you want to come and say hello and talk to us about, or a question, or or something you're not sure about with one of the products. Now's always the time to pop on and come and say hello and go. Yeah, actually, I'd like this advice on this. And we're here each week. We're always happy for you guys to pop on. It's not consultation. All right, we're not here to tell you how to run your business and give you an hour's consultation, as some of the lives have happened in the past by mistake. But we are here to give you, a little bit of time to come on, ask one or two questions. Well, it might be something in your business with SEO that Simon can answer, or some way you want to use one of the tools we're offering, and we're here for you. So, please pop on when we do offer you the chance. We're always happy to invite you in, and even if it's just to say hello and how your week's been, we don't mind.
Awesome. Cool. Nicely said. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, good to see you, Daryl.
We'll be back again 5 o'clock Eastern time next week, and of course 9 p.m. BST. Was that 10 p.m.?
10 p.m.
It's 10 p.m. British Standard Time.
Okay, and 9 GMT. Okay, I always get you guys confused.
We're on summertime at the moment, so we're an hour ahead. It'll click back soon, though. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha. I always quote Eastern Standard Time because I think people can go and Google it and work out what their correct time is for around.
Well, we're actually Eastern Daylight Time now, so that's why the EDT. That's why it changes. So it's so confusing. We got to do away with all this. All right, guys.
Just to briefly recap, there's no live for you tonight. We've moved it to a Friday. Yep. That way, because I had a few messages with people trying to jump over and switch over. So we're doing it on a Friday night now. So you're always welcome to head over. It's always dfymagicthemes.com/live, if I remember right. And that is next Friday, 9 p.m. British Standard Time, which should be 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, if I've got it right. And we stay on right the way normally till about 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we're on we keep it open roughly for about 2 hours. Maybe we finish a bit early, and it means it's a more sensible time for everyone. It shouldn't clash so much.
All right. And Simon, do you have, let's see, we have simonhogman.com/meet. Is that still good to set up a meeting?
That's still good. If anybody wants to have a chat, we haven't spoken before, had a one-to-one, come and say hello, have a chat about your business. That would be good. Always happy to meet people new.
And if you missed out on the slides from this or other ones, reach out to Simon and he'll go ahead and get you the link for that. I don't see the slides one on here. But reach out to us. We're both, we're all very approachable, so you can always reach out to us. Oh, here it is. Simon Hogman.
That's it. Yeah, that's the archive. It's this week's slides. It's also the ones going back 3 months. So it's all on there. Yeah.
Great value. And thanks for all the hard work and preparation that you do.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, guys. Thank you. We'll be in touch throughout the week. And of course, everybody else, we'll see you next Sunday on a Sunday Live with MassPage Tools. And
share, like, and tell people about it, please.
Please do. Yes. We'll have a bigger crowd next week because this is Labor Day weekend. I think there's a lot less people online. So, all right. You guys take care. We'll talk to you all later.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
See you. Take care.